It's me, Dennis. Today, within our soccer number 10 case study, we'll be looking at how you kill your soccer life. Yes, it's a very thought provoking question, and many soccer players, even to today, are guilty of killing their soccer life. Many top players, even today, are also guilty. This case study will take a form of a lecture. It would have internal aspects that will cause you to focus more on the things that you are neglecting and pay keen attention to the things that you presently are also neglecting. If you have a pencil and a piece of paper, by all means, please get it. Today will be a very informative day. And as we embark upon the 17th of April, when Soccer Number 10 website will go live, you will have access to higher quality information, higher quality training sessions, and the actual Soccer Number 10 blueprint book. Again, please pay keen attention to everything within this case study. Today will be a day when your soccer life will change. And today you will actually learn how not to kill your soccer life. Let us begin. First off, you might have heard this term, your inner child. However, in soccer, most of us have an inner soccer child. Yes, the soccer child that we had when we were younger. When we just started to play soccer, we fell in love with the game. We were so enthused, we were so energetic. Our lifestyle was just centered around running around with the ball. There were no limitations then, and our inner soccer child was free. It had no problems, nothing to face. But some of us, during our early stages, for example, our inner soccer child was suppressed by means of many unusual things. And in this case study, we will actually ravel some of these things that has actually helped cripple our present soccer life and our past soccer life, and it has resulted in us or you playing the way you are presently playing. Let's look deeply into this subject. How you learned the game. For some of us, we had the luxury of our parents actually teaching us how to play soccer. Some of us had a dad who would actually go to the park and kick the ball with us. For some, we had no parents. We had all our grandfathers or a coach who actually taught us the game at early ages due to our family settings by means of broken homes and some who weren't from broken homes. So we all had a different approach towards learning soccer, and all this factor has caused some psychological effect upon many soccer players throughout the world or throughout the soccer world as I speak today. However, many soccer players somehow forget that the first persons in this role for actually crippling their soccer child were their parents. Yes, some of us had moms or dads who didn't like the game. And they didn't like the game for several reasons. They didn't want us to break a leg, to break a arm or so forth, or to get injured. They disliked the whole fact of getting injured. But God bless the parents or the young players who had parents who would push them towards going to soccer training, going to soccer training camp. But however, even though some parents actually pushed their child or many young soccer players into training and into programs and into camps. Some soccer players at a youthful stage learned that their parents did that because they wanted them to be occupied or they wanted to get them out of the house for the weekends or for summer. So in so doing this, many parents has created a negative uh, impact upon these youth, and the soccer child for these players were somehow angry, somehow feeling oppressed. You see, no one believed in you. For example, your parents probably had a hunch that you will become an average soccer player or you will play well, but many soccer players didn't have family members who actually believed that they would become a great soccer player or they had the potential to go further. So as this lack of belief surfaced, many youth soccer players learned that their parents didn't really believe in their potential. For example, some players learned this because some family members didn't show up at their games, and in so doing, it made them feel suppressed, felt unsupportive. They felt as if they were out there in the wilderness all by themselves. I know many soccer players can relate with scenarios of these natures because it is true, and these are some of the psychological factors that has caused many soccer players to be crippled. And in soccer number 10, we stressed the importance of training the mind and releasing the things that has captivated the mind in such a way that it has create a, a, a bulwark or a blockade from the actual true potential of the soccer player that is lying dormant within every youth or within every man, within every woman as a soccer player today. And the ultimate goals of soccer number 10 is to help individuals to locate, to break down all these suppressive barriers that have stifled them. Let's continue. Some of us didn't have support at the games. We were at the games and we were there just looking into the audience, hoping that mom and dad would be there. And we were just playing, and no mom and dad were there. For some parents, or some players, they had the luxury, so to speak, of seeing one family member. Probably it was a dad, or probably it was a mom who was a stalwart, who was always there shouting and supporting. But it somehow this soccer player probably had small defects. He couldn't have played the game well, and in so doing, mom was there supporting, but she was there shouting, and it created a negative impact upon this young soccer player, and it had created an imbalance within this inner soccer child. And all these imbalances create problems for some who didn't have parents there. They saw their friends' parents in the audience, and they saw their friends' parents shouting and cheering their friends on, and they felt lonely. They felt left out. They felt as if no one cares. And it was as if the parents had actually robbed these individuals of the youthful spring of their inner soccer child. These inner soccer child didn't get a chance to spring forth as fruits or fresh roses within the lives of many soccer players, and as a result of this, many soccer players crumble. Even today, simple things like these have crippled many great players, and they still hold them as anger. And some players try to forget them, but subconsciously, these past tragedies, these past feelings are still left there on the surface. And you need to chisel them away. But many soccer players don't know that these things are there because they have been so conditioned into the the systems of the traditional soccer, so to speak, thinking that you have to go to this training camp, you have to go to this coach, you have to be here, you have to be there, you have to see this, and then in so doing, they're there in circles, not knowing that they're going around in circles. Ladies and gentlemen, the soccer number 10 is here to point out all the secrets, all the truths, and all the concepts that many soccer players, even till today, have overlooked. I hope and trust that you're taking notes and you're making key notes on these subjects. How to set your inner soccer child free? A very startling question. It's very thought provoking. But how can you set your inner soccer child free? These answers are very simple, friends. Revisit. I guess I have placed the wrong tense in there. However, friends, right now it's 3 a.m. Thursday, Friday morning, I'm so sorry. And I'm up creating this PowerPoint because I want to reach out to someone who have been crippled by these dilemmas or these tragedies that has caused many players not to play well. And some of these problems are facing you right now. Yes, you. It's a little bit early in the morning. You need to revisit your youth. You need to step down memory lane into your minds or into the corridors of your minds and open the doors and try to reflect on moments when you were younger, when you first learned the game. Try to see the person who actually taught you the game. Try to relive those situations. If possible, revisit them. Go back and play roles. For example, act as if you were the coach, coaching yourself, guiding yourself. I know it sounds a kind of psychologically or Twilight Zone, but you need to do this so that you can set yourself free. You need to go back, play roles with your inner child. All those things that you couldn't do then, go back and teach yourself. Close your eyes and reflect upon those moments. Find yourself as a quiet spot before you play any soccer game during this week and just sit down in a peaceful environment and recollect those moments and set your inner child free. Your soccer child free. Go there, play the role as a friend, talk to yourself, play the role as a coach, and give yourself drills that your parents, whom have never sat down with you to talk to you about soccer, go back and do these drills. Write it down. Make it a point to go back and do this. Make believe that your parents were there. Go back into that day when your mom didn't show up for the game that you wanted her to be at. Make believe. Just go back and look into the audience and picture your mom there and just feel as if she was there. And then try to feel the feeling of happiness. Even though she wasn't there or your dad was not there either. Just go back in that moment of time and let it go. Try to comfort yourself. Those moments when you felt like crying because of your soccer life at that early stage, because your mom didn't want to purchase the soccer cleats, your dad didn't want to take you to the game, and you felt so angry at them, and then you turned away from soccer. Just go back and comfort those moments. Try to let it go. Try not to cry, my friends, even though you're reflecting on these moments presently. I know I'm reaching out to someone who's watching this video now who can relate with what I'm saying. But go back and comfort yourself and try to let all these barriers go. These are things that are crippling your present soccer life. Friends, it's not the cleats, it's not the best soccer book, it's not the best soccer program. Some of these psychological things are crippling your soccer life today, and you need to let it go. Let the pain go and forgive them. Try to forgive your mother. Try to forgive your grandma, your grandpa for what they did, for what they said, what they caused you not to do. Because many of us learn to blame people and we have held it within our heart on a subconscious plane. When I say subconscious plane, I'm talking about not knowing that you're doing it. You had this hatred and this pain so long that you still have it upon your heart and you have not forgiven them, and as a result of this, it is holding you back like chains in the grounds of the past, and it's holding you back from becoming a great soccer player today, a talented soccer player. And these are the things that you need to go back in your past life and set your soccer child free. Break these chains, break down these walls, and forgive. And then you will see a difference. You will feel a difference. Forgive your family for the not being there. Forgive your friends for all those negatives that they have said. You suck, you're pathetic, you can't play well. Forgive them. Try not to hold them too there. Just let it go. Let it go. Feel relaxed, feel enthused. Just feel relaxed. And feel the free feeling. Let me say this again. Relax. Get somewhere where it's quiet and peaceful. And feel free. Feel the burden falling. And feel the feeling of free feeling. And then you will notice difference within this week as you play soccer. However, many of us might have never had the problem with our inner soccer child. But as we were growing up, we had somehow broken away from that little nucleus of the inner soccer child to our teenage life. And many of us, we had parents or family members that gossip and friends that gossip. You know what I'm saying? They said that your cleats weren't so good, that your cleats were cheap, your socks wasn't so good, and your socks smelled, and you don't deserve this number 10, and you're not such a talented player, and don't gossip and all these things that have caused you, I'm so sorry, to feel angry, and you had a grudge against your friends, and you had developed some form of hatred, and somehow these hatred had formed cards, and you have not let it go. In your teenage life, they might have made gossip and caused you not to play on the team, and in so doing you forget playing soccer at high school, and then as an old age, in adult age, in your 28s, your 26, you started to play soccer again, and then you are enthused towards it. But you need to let go of this anger. Probably your coach or coaches have punished you by placing you on the bench, and you were there sitting down and you were so angry. You saw players who weren't so skilled playing, and you were actually there. You were actually there not doing anything well. And you learn how to hate your coach, and you learn how to hate your team because you felt as if you were being punished. Your parents weren't there in the audience watching you while you were on the bench, or some of you had your parents in the audience watching you on the bench, and you have transferred all this hatred to the coach, and then you have a mixed feeling, a cycle going on, and all these hatred has been built up on a subconscious plane, but you can't see it, and it is crippling your present soccer life. Yes, friends, it is killing your soccer life today. Parents told you to quit. Probably your mother said, it's time. You need to stop playing this team. They're not doing anything. You're not doing your homework or things of those nature. You love the game. It made you felt as if you were free. Free from the problems at home. Free, feel relaxed. And all of a sudden, mom or your parents, dad said you need to quit. You're not paying attention at school. And all these things had its negative impact. Even though it was true. Even though your dad wanted you to progress not only as a soccer player, but he wanted you to study And as a soccer number 10, in our soccer number 10 program, it is important for you to try to do your best in school. But here you have a problem. Parents is saying to you, quit the thing that you love, the things that cause you to feel relaxed, the things that cause you to feel as if you're alive. Soccer. Now you have to quit, and you're mad at them, and you have held the chains with your hearts. And these are chains that are still there. You are blaming others when it's all you. You are blaming your parents today because if it wasn't for your parents, you would have been a great soccer player. You're blaming your coaches because if it wasn't for my coach who was so hypocrite, who was so mean to me, I would have been there playing for the US or playing for Russia or playing for your country. If it wasn't for my coach, I would have been a great player. No, it's not your coach. It's all you. You have not learned to accept the blame. You have not learned to understand that you were fighting a mental battle that you could not see. You were there fighting a mental battle of the mind. You were there arguing with yourself. Then you didn't have no one to blame, so you started to blame others. No, it is you. And once you can accept that you could have changed everything then, but I can't blame you. No one can blame you because no one have actually put together a system to help young soccer players, adult soccer players, to understand the internal psychology of what is going on. But soccer number 10 has created these concepts so that individuals who are presently suffering from these psychological traumas can be set free. You need to accept the blame. You need to accept the responsibility. It is your fault why you didn't play on a grand stage. It is all you. It is no one else to blame. You did not step forward, but you can't just take all the blame. It's not all you. You're not the only one to be blamed. You see, you had some conflicts in your youth, in your teenager life, in your inner child life. And these are the conflicts that has caused you to be crippled. So you were in indecision and you couldn't play well then. So how do you expect to play well now or in the future? You need to break the chains. And I want you to break the chains. That's why I brought this to your acknowledgement today. Many coaches will never tell you this. But can't you listen? Can't you listen? Don't you hear it? Sometimes you're there sitting down and you want to play soccer and you can't play well and you notice the critics from your friends, the coaches. Can't you listen? Can't you hear this inner voice calling out for help? Help. Help. Can you help me? But it's not your fault. You don't know what is going on. You didn't understand this psychology until I brought it to your attention. There's a voice within you, and it's your soccer voice, and it is crying out, help. But you know what? There are many different obstacles in your way, and it has caused you to confuse the voice. It has caused you to confuse the voice calling out for help. Your inner child, your inner teen is crying out for help. It has been slaughtered in the past. It has been slaughtered in the present. And now it is crying out, help me, so that I can strive in the future, so that I can make you, now a present soccer player, better in the future. But you have to let it go. You have to chisel these chains. You have to set it free. But you need to understand the voice. Many thinks that when this voice is saying help, it means to go and buy a new product. Go and buy this soccer product. Go out there and buy this soccer cleats. Go out there and buy this new jersey. It will make me feel good. It will make me play better. And they misinterpret the inner voice. And some start to search for anything that they can find. Anything. Just to satisfy an immediate urge, which is confused. But you never listen. You never listen. Just listen. What is it that this voice is saying? And how can you understand it? You need to go back, friends. It has been suppressed. Just fix it. It has been suppressed. And how did you fix your inner child? You revisited it. Go back. Try to discuss the problems with your teenage life. Try to relive the past. Go back and comfort yourself. Go back and try to make things that weren't right. Picture them right. Visualize them right. And heal your teenage life so that you'll be able to play better in the future and in the now. I hope and trust that you're seeing what's going on. I hope and trust that you're making notes and you're understanding that all these psychological problems are not your fault only. These are the faults of others, but you can't blame them. You are now knowledgeable of what is happening. Now you need to change it. Many great soccer players have stumbled upon some of these concepts, and they have changed it. And this is one of the reasons why many are great. And in soccer number 10, we try to make you understand all the psychological secrets that will make you become a better soccer player. Many of us, friends, are not happy with self. Do you know what I mean when I'm saying you're not happy with yourself? For some of us, we might be a little bit skinny or slender. For some of us, we might be a little fat on the legs or on the tummy. For some of us, we might have a bigger leg. We might have a bigger head or a bigger nose. And because of this, we're not happy with ourselves. And when we're playing soccer, we feel we're just fitting in, or we feel as if we're just trying to hang on. And as a result of this, we're not happy with ourselves, so ourselves can't give us the confidence that we need to play well. Take, for example, the great Ronaldinho. He has huge front teeth, buffed, and many of us would look at this as a great defect. But don't you notice him? He's always smiling, and he looks like a little rabbit, but he's always smiling. What does that say? It says he is happy with self. And many of us are not happy with ourselves because of some small defects. These are some reasons why you cannot be happy with yourself. 1. Your past life as your inner child was suppressed. Your past life when your teenage life was suppressed by the problems, the trauma that we have discussed earlier. And some of these reasons can lead to you not playing well. Some of these reasons for not being happy with yourself will cause you to do things like searching, looking for the next best thing, or for the best next thing. And you're always there searching, and you're always there in a circle, looking back and forth, not finding anything. And at the end of your journey in your soccer life, you look back to see what you have accomplished, and you have accomplished nothing. Because you were not happy with yourself. Wanting more, but never thankful with self. When I say you're wanting more, there's other things that you have. You're always wanting something new. The thirst for wanting, the desire for wanting other things that are not really for the immediacy of what the problem really is. But you are not thankful with yourself Friends, to prove this that you're not thankful with yourself, when last have you said to yourself, thank you for playing that wonderful game, self? Never. When last have you looked into the mirror before in the early morning once you get up and say, good morning, I hope we're going to have a great day today. I hope we're going to have a great training today. When last have you said after training, you pat yourself on the shoulder and said you did a good job today? Others might see you do it and they might think that you're losing your screws. But when last have you said thank you? When last have you become thankful for the things that you can do? When last? When last have you become thankful for being able to kick the ball with power? When last have you said be thankful that you can head the ball? When last have you become thankful that you can run? When last have you become thankful for the fresh air that you breathe with your nostrils? When last have you become thankful that you can read a soccer textbook and comprehend the information? When last? And you might say never. You might say yesterday. Many of us are only thankful when we score a goal, and some of us just are thankful because others are looking on and you want to show that you are thankful, and it's not a genuine showing of gratitude, so to speak. You need to understand this psychology. You need to be to have gratitude towards the things that you presently have. This takes us to a very unusual concepts. The now conflicts with the then and the future. Many of us live in the then. The then is the past, the things that has crippled us from our inner soccer child to our inner teenage child. And all these has crippled us with our problems of the past. And that was the then. It's conflicts with the now. And it will create problems for us in our future soccer games. Many of us live only in the then. We'll sit down spending countless hours of time thinking about what has happened in the past, reminiscing on just the past. You see, what we're doing when we reminisce on all these things of the past, we are reliving these moments, and we're telling our minds on a conscious plane and on a subconscious plane that, listen, this is happening all over again. What you need to do, friends, is to stop living in the now. In the then, I'm sorry. Stop living in the then. Many of us will also spend time in the future wondering what it will be like 3-4 years from now, how wonderful it would be, how we'll be able to play great soccer, how we'll be able to run long laps, or we'll be able to do this, and we live in the future when we should be living in the now. And we should be living in the now, today. Today, look at yourself. What it is that you're doing. What is it that you are presently knowledgeable about. What it is that you can do now. These are the things that are crippling many soccer players. They spend their time living in the future, thinking about how they will be able to play well like the great Ronaldinho in the future. And they spend time thinking about the past, arguing, remembering the failures, remembering that they can't kick the ball well, and they remember all these problems. You need to stop. You need to start living in the now. The now is today. What you can do. What is it that you can do? Use the sheet of paper. Write down all the things that you can do well in soccer, well in your school, well in your life. What it is that you can do today, now. Well, don't worry about what you can't do so well. Just be grateful for what you can do now. Because if you become grateful for what you can do now, you will develop the other skills to help you to achieve what you cannot do. And it has never failed to understand these principles of being gratitude, or be grateful for what you have now, so that when you can accept the grateful gratitude that you can accomplish this. Now you will be able to do all the things that you were weak at. Try it, friends. What you know well. You might just know only how to dribble. You might only just know how to kick. You might only just know how to tell and organize the team together in a defensive free kick. Well, that's what you can do, and it's what you can do well. So do it and be proud of what you can do. And that's all you can do. Just do it to the best of your ability and be thankful. And be thankful for what you can do. How you view yourself is also important. How do you look at yourself? Do you look at yourself through the eyes of your inner child? Do you look at yourself through the eyes of the teenager who was once suppressed? Or do you look at yourself with the eyes that are now given to you? How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself through the eyes of the past? Or can you see yourself being free, being able to relax, being able to go forward and achieve the things that you ought to achieve? And stop thinking of the person who you are not, but think of the person who you are ought to become. You have all the help now. You have learned what these problems are or were. Now you have all the tools that you need. You need to go back, revisit, fix, forgive, and move forward. And that's just it. Your games will be better. You will feel free. You will feel vibrant. You will feel relaxed. And this is what you need to do in the now. When last have you said, I will play well today? When last before a soccer game you say, I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to play my best today. I'm going to have a terrific game. When last have you said these words? Or you use words like, I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to play well. My cleats is not so good. I don't think I'm going to do well today, coach. Or I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to try. These are words that creates a negative on the mind. These are words that were formed by your weak inner child. These were words that were formed by our teenager who was in dilemma, who was suppressed. These were words when you use words, I will try. But if you say, I will do my best today, coach, I'll try to do my best, it sounds a little bit better. Or I will play well today with the help of my divine source, with the help of my religion, with the help of my God, with the help of whosoever you believe. When last have you said these words? I can do it if I try, or just believe. I can do it if I try or just believe. If you only try, you might accomplish the task. If you believe you can, chances are you will accomplish the task because you believe you can. You have experienced it. You go out there on the soccer field and you believe that you can play well and you believe that you can score a goal and the ball will just fall into your path and everything has acted as if it was working towards your own orchestration. You expect to fail, and you must, and you will fail. You step out there on the soccer field expecting not to play well, and you will not play well. You expect to play well, and you will. Expectation plays a very important role. Most of these concepts will be discussed more in the psychology of awesome soccer achievement, which is one of the bonus packages that will be given to you when Soccer Number 10 website goes live. You can be a great Soccer Number 10, friends. All the possibilities are there. All the rules for you to achieve this are there. All the concepts are there. Everything that I've said to you are things that are true. And I know you know. You feel it. You hear it. You hear your inner voice crying out. Set it free. Soccer number 10 is all about changing the lifestyles of soccer player to understand on a conscious plane the things that is actually crippling them. It doesn't make sense to go out there and try to understand just soccer tricks, running the pitch, and trying to do the drills without understanding things on a psychological plane. Friends, soccer number 10 is not just a psychology. It's not just talking and lectures. It's also about soccer tricks, soccer training, different drills, different approach. I hope and trust, friends, that this audio lecture was very informative to you. Make sure that you recap this video. If this video was very informative, send it to a friend. By all means, next week on April 17, 2008, friends. 2008, the Soccer number 10 site will be live. Tell a friend. Be there on time so that you can get bonuses. I hope and trust that this case study was a blessing to you, to your soccer success.